All right, so with our handsome Mr. Bodie, ready? We'll warm up with a couple little find its with recall practice. So Bodie, here. Yes, what a good boy. So all the men have been doing a really stellar job for day number 1. I know some of them, this is not their first rodeo, but for others it is. So again, we'll do another little find it. Bodie, here. Yes, what a good job. It's like, lady, there's a crumb. So with Mr. B, after he gets a little bit more cozy like he's doing now, we'll maybe try a little bit with our loose leash walk-in. Ready, buds? So I'm going to get his attention, see if I can get him to hone in next to me, practice a little bit with some wiggling through the environment. So with our loose leash walking too, guys, if the real world is still sometimes a little bit spooky, I know we did mention we practiced a bit. He's like, oh, got to get that crumb. Good job, sir. Is we did practice obviously at Tractor Supply. I would recommend is like the nicer weather eventually will be coming down our road is to practice sometimes even hanging out in your own yard and build up watching things as being comfortable and safe. So if in your yard it's maybe not as much happening, it's a great place to start. Of course, he found a bone. And then you could build up to practicing as well in and around, like, let's say a parking lot or a space where you can do some people watching or different things off in the distance. Mr. B says, I found this bone and it looks delicious. Ready, Bodie? That was beautiful. So he even just checked in from a delicious stinky bone that I have off to the side as a lovely item for the boys to sometimes chew while they're working other skills. Nice. Now we're working a little bit, ready? With some of this beautiful loose leash walking, even though that bone did look quite nice. Yes. So if the loose leash walking is getting quite nice, I would start to build in sometimes a little bit with maybe some potential sits next to you. Oh, dropped it, sir. Better go find it. You could also work in some of those fronts or back to finish position. So if let's say he's by my side, ready? I might bring him into the front of my body and then feed him for that. He's like, but this is so much work. So again, then I might bring him back to the side position. Nice. And have him start off by the leg again. Ready? With me? So when you're working sometimes through some of these little dynamics, the whole point of sometimes having a few other skills under his belt is that you can rotate and help him when you start to lose him at times. It could also be a great way to get him to hone in on you from the environment. So right here, Bodie, here. Yes. So right there from a nice stinky odor on the fence, really nice little bounce back, which is hard for a lot of them. So we'll go back into working a little bit. We'll bring them into the front. Oh my goodness, so hard. Doing a good job. And then we'll bring them back to the side position, which this could be side or finish, whatever seems comfortable for you guys. But it's bringing him sort of back to the side of your leg, to your body, where you could then start your walk again. So right now I am still kind of luring him to help him kind of hone in. But as he becomes a little bit more fluid and comfortable, we'd want to, again, either have the hand up a little higher or fade it out and use it intermittently. So it's not the food is the only reason that he's there and by your side, but the food is given for doing the skill or the task. He's like, look, I found all these cool toys. Ready? Bodie. He's like, this toy is delicious. So if, let's say I said his name and nothing happened, because we do have a few items that he's getting a little distracted with, which is fine. If, let's say, this was something he's allowed to have versus not, I still don't want to turn it into a keep away game where he frolics with the item. I sometimes like to go right into Bodie, ready? So from here, I might do a little find it and then get him to go and he can still enjoy the item, but I want him to practice sometimes getting up and moving from it. So if you find there's certain things that he is struggling with, make sure, like I mentioned earlier for some of the other boys, when they were practicing with their items on the ground, doing either the toy exchange game or the treat and retreat at times, is that if your babe is constantly getting their things taken, you may by accident create a puppy that doesn't really want to be near us when they might find something valuable and they might romp away with it. So right here, we might even do a little bit where we can treat and then retreat. So I'm not taking the item away. I'm just going and showing them that as I come close, good things happen. Ready? So here we go. So the benefit of the treating and retreating game is, even though, again, this is a sheepy skin that he can play with, no big deal, I'm making it seem okay to have the weird new stack lady come by when you have a high value item. So because maybe this could have been something we didn't want him to have. So if we've practiced with things he can, ready, find it, we can then do a little distraction like that and then redirect. So this one was a sad little friend that used to be on a sheepskin flirt pole attachment, but it's seen better days. So that one we'll sort of have it off to the side for another session. Nice job. But then getting him to relinquish it wasn't instantly the end of the game. Because if every time I come near, I just take the thing away, it still could create that negative association. Bodie, here. Yes, and of course, being a retriever, he may want to retrieve things, but may not always know how to bring them back or let go. So I'm gonna see if he might like the puller rings. Oh, I think he might. Ready? You ready? So with toys, I know that, oh, he might be a fan. Oh, good job. I like to try doing, for example, 2 toys or more and get your puppy to go from one to another. So then he sees the new friend. He'd have to relinquish the original one, which might be the yellow. Ready, Bodie? And then we could turn this into another little moment where he goes and grabs that bad boy. Nice. Ready? Drop. Good. He says chewing and running is hard. Good job. You caught it. So this way he can start to go. He's like, guys, it caught my leg. I mean, coordination is something we're all working on, so don't worry. He's like, guys, the stupid ring caught me. So ready? Bodie. So we might get his attention. I might say ready. Bodie's like, I'm almost ready. Drop it. Yes. We can go grab that bad boy. These ones are nice because they kind of roll and they're kind of fun for them to catch and grab real easy. They also float. Ready? Drop. Good. He says, I'm going to get it. Oh, ready? We'll go do this one. Oh, he says, I'm so ready. So you guys may find too, if he's not the greatest at bringing them directly to you, this is again a skill that has to get finessed. Oh, ready? He says, I sure am. All right, go get it. So, but these ones could be another great venue for him where you can have multiples. I think it comes in a 4-pack, like I mentioned a little earlier. Good. So then he can practice. So fetching, I know I just was diving into that earlier, should be done in a way where there's traction. It's not compulsive where your dog can't function without anything else going on. And that your babe should, for example, be softly like jogging to go grab it. If let's say he was going full speed and like literally crashing at the end, I'd say I wouldn't recommend it. These ones though, you don't have to technically stop to grab it. The nice thing is because the ring is kind of twirling, they can grab it mid-twirl and they don't have to quickly stop. You ready? I think you forgot the orange one, but that's okay. So we'll go ahead, we'll toss that bad boy. He's gonna get tired. So, but you may find that the puller rings or a different brand similar, yes, nice job, could be another great venue. So if let's say you only have the one, which normally I recommend 2 or multiple toys, you could then, for example, from here, feed for the let goes and then start the game again. So if your puppy is super duper food driven and then they forget about retrieving, you may want to play with the 2 toys and build up to this. He's like, I'm ready already. Ready? Here it goes. The other option too, oh, he says, I'm tired. He says, I'm all done. Whoa. Is if your puppy is doing fetching, but you're worried about like the joint health or how intense the play is, I sometimes like to take toys and like hide them in the grass or the snow and then have them go search for them. So that's more using their sniffer and using their brain and using their body all together to go find the item. That's a lot more gentle on their joints and their ligaments than retrieving and running full speed to go grab it and stop and pivot again. So you may find for some, this could be a nice option with the puller rings, or you might find hiding toys as another great way to go retrieve them from searching. But once he's done grabbing his water, we'll do another couple little skills. He says, I have to rehydrate after doing so much good exercise. So thirsty after all his snacks too. It's like having your popcorn. You got to get your drink. So Bodie, he's like, no, I'm not quite done yet. So I was just seeing if he'd respond. If there's no response because he really has to maintain that hydration, I might go a little closer and see if I can get his attention. Okay, ready? He's like, all right, here. Yes, what a good boy. So if, again, there's moments where you don't think your babe is going to do well, don't keep asking, no matter what the skill might be, because it might actually create a moment where your puppy's understanding of the skill falls away. We also want them to be able to respond the first time, not like the 17th time. So if let's say Mr. B is sometimes like, I'm blabbing, I don't always get to say like my cue word for coming when called. So as long as Mr. B is making his way to me and the orientation of me is beneficial and like what I'm looking for, I'm going to feed for that response. So Bodie, here. Yes, what a smart man. I know the other boys want to come back out again because we rotate through the beauties. And then sometimes they don't always love being away, but it's, again, good little moment for like little breaks. Bodie, here. Yes. What a good boy. I know, I'm so excited. So he and Bernie are both in the doggy day school and the structured play. So the boys are going to be nice and tired. But remember, overtired does not mean a good thing. So a lot of times you want to have a happy middle, just like with us. We don't want to be fatigued or we're getting run down or feeling agitated, but we want to feel like our needs have been met. So you do want to find like a happy middle where your puppy's needs are being met, but they're not getting so tired or so burnt out that they either become especially hyperactive because they're so tired, or more mouthy or even crabby sometimes. Oh, did you find a toy? So right there, he found a toy. It's not a leave it, so I just did a little kissy noise to redirect him. But maybe what we'll do is we'll give Mr. B a little breather from this, sneak out for a quick little potty, and then work some more skills, like maybe his place behavior. But he's doing a real nice job, this brilliant boy.